This podcast is produced by OnPod, a video content studio near you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm with Jean-Luc, my very professional and very awesome business coach.
Thank you, Jer. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I mean, it's funny because we often talk, we meet every week, but never in person.
Yeah.
Because we live so far away from each other. But it works.
Yeah. And he, sometimes he's in Thailand and I'm in Nicaragua and our Wi-Fi connection isn't the greatest, but we make it work,
We're both on beaches and it's very hard. But it's true. But it works. It does work. So let's jump into it. We were talking just before the podcast, so we got some really good conversation piece. And I think, this is it, right? This is the idea of podcasting. A side note is you're meeting someone for coffee, like you said, and it's we're having this crazy conversation. And it's why not just record it?
Yeah, exactly.
And use it.
Yeah. And that's a core component of, how many times you're at a coffee shop and you're going, I'm having this great conversation. I wish I would have recorded it, and this space is incredible to just, let's just switch from the coffee shop to here. First of all, we can go deeper into conversation. Mm-hmm. It sets, this nice, safe container. There's no noise of people all over, so we're able to go deeper. And I don't know about you, but you go to networking events and it's all surface level,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Somebody's there and, hey, I know he just wants to give me his business card. And it's yeah. You're not going to call me and we're going to play this game and go. But actually,
it's like a game.
Here we can go deep.
Yeah.
And we can talk about subjects that actually matter,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, I don't know if it's like this for you, but sometimes, the best conversations aren't even the business conversations.
No.
Sure. I start talking about life. And yesterday I was having a meeting with somebody and we started talking about, philosophy and family and all this stuff. And I left that going, I know him more.
Yeah. I met a guy, a guy I've met a few times, but now we had a great conversation about, he builds studios for ESPN. And then we, out of that just conversation of just talking, but we're two tech guys, so it's fun, But I was just talking about that. We came up with this crazy idea, this software idea. It's just stuff just kind of flows, and it wasn't a business meeting or anything. It's just a friend, right?
Yeah. And did you do it at the studio?
No. I was on vacation. I was in Lake Placid.
Right.
We were in a cottage. There's no studio yet in Lake Placid, unfortunately. Soon.
But this is the opportunity that you have is to capture these moments for people,
Mm-hmm.
That's what was fascinating with me when I first heard what you were doing and stuff. Is I just saw the big problem, that it's the new networking. People haven't clued in yet. That we can do this. I remember at a time where Gary Vee was saying, hey, in the future, people are going to be following you with a camera, because there's so much content that can be available just in regular conversations, in travel. So it's fast forward to today and it's the more content you have, the more you can put out there, especially quality content. That's just the game that's being played now.
Yeah.
But
and so what do you see? You obviously you have a lot of clients. You're helping businesses grow and push forward. What do you see with AI and stuff? We talked a little bit about it. Because some owners will see it as a scary thing, right? Mm-hmm. And some will see it as a good thing. Well, what do you see?
I see that it is the biggest roadblock at this moment for every business owner. They are treating it like it has an ending to it. It used to be you'd buy a software, and your business would run this software, and then if another software came along, you'd say, no, I got my software.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not switching, because switching is hell.
Huge pinpoint. Yeah.
It's hell to switch over, right?
I'm switching right now.
So I'm going to keep this thing, you know, I'm going to keep this thing going, and I'm going to stick with this. And it's like you're when you get a new iPhone, right? I don't know if you guys have ever have updated your iPhone in a while, but
I just did.
How fast is it to make the switch over now compared to what it was?
It's very fast, but I had a small issue, but it's very fast.
Right?
Yeah.
So in general, like, it used to be like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all my photos, my apps, all the transferring? But now that friction is going.
Yeah, you put it on the cloud and then
boom, it's all
comes back.
I got my new phone within an hour.
Yeah.
It's shifted all over,
Yeah.
right? So that's going to get better and better with technology, right? As the frictions go down. But we're still in the same mindset of old software that's going to end.
Yeah.
So we're going, we're hoarding, we're holding on.
You're scared of switching.
And it's this idea that if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Remember Phoenix?
Yeah.
Or maybe you try to forget it, you know?
Right? It's this idea. If it ain't broken, why fix it? Right. Yeah. And this line is the detriment of every business owner that's going to lose. Everyone that has this mindset is going to be the dinosaur. Yeah. Because there's people like the people I work with. Yeah. That we're eliminating that mindset. That we're saying, actually, Jer, you're a technologist. And if we look at business in general, we can say, you know, I remember reading the E-Myth when I was 17 and having an epiphany. Wow, systems run the business. People run the systems. Huh. And then I started, my worldview changed, right? I was looking at businesses through a different lens from that. How are their systems? Oh, this guy's just winging it. This guy's just winging it. Yeah. Oh, this guy. System. Oh, and then I go into a franchise-based business like a Subway and go, it's like, oh, everything's the same. Yeah. The sandwich I have is the same whether I go here or I'm in New York. Yeah. They got a system. So I started to see that the good businesses are businesses that have systems, because systems at the end of the day is integrity. It's it's doing what you say you will every time. That's the definition of integrity to me. Yeah. So it's, you know, if I go into that sandwich shop and one day it's a different type of meat and they say, I don't have this, and I lose integrity. Yeah. Which is funny. You talk about that. And I went to a Subway in Oslo, Norway, and there was different types of meats and I was unhappy, but different countries, different. I get it, right? Because like, I'm not from there, but that did, you know, it's interesting. Very true. Yeah, it's very true. So it's like on a psychological perspective, we're not getting the same. Kids. My daughter, when she was young, I remember this one time we go to a restaurant. First time we go, they give her a piece of paper with crayons, you know, a little umbrella in the juice. She probably always wants that now. And then next time we come, there's no crayons. And she throws a little fit. Right? Yeah. And that's the human nature of it, is we don't want it to change. Consistency is important. Yeah. If you go to McDonald's, you need to have the same things. Like, if not, it's not going to work out. You know? Yeah. So to me, that became what a good business is. Yeah. You know, high integrity, right? Professional. And then now it's evolved to the point where I don't see it as like a business has good systems, but a business is systems. Right. And now with AI, it's just expanded a whole other level of that. That means it's a man and it's machine. And it's so easy right now. Like, it is so easy to build your own CRM. Like, everything is there. I mean, there's too much, right? Monday.com. Monday.com. Monday.com is like a Google Sheet, right? A fancy Google Sheet that you can do anything. You can automate.
just like Google Sheet. And then they created Money Vibe, which is vibe coding, which is just basically you chat GPT it kind of thing. You say, I need this, I need that, and it's going to do it with your data. So now you can have that data into a concrete system and build anything into minutes. Like it's so easy, so simple. So like you said, like anybody that's not moving right now is going to lose.
It's going to create these sort of monopolies in a way in your industry. That like if you are if you're adopting this technologist mindset, like Elon Musk, right? He sees himself as a futurist, a technologist, right? He's going in and he's engineering. He's looking at the whole engineering of things. We got to look like that. We got to move towards that identity because, or if not, we're going to be dinosaurs. A lot of times we get into business just because, you know, we were doing that specific things. We were a technician, we're a personal trainer, and then we opened our own fitness club. And it's like, so we were the technical person. So we didn't really see ourselves as an architect, you know, but we need to do that now. We need to say, okay, how does this operate with leveraging AI as much as possible?
Yeah. And it's funny now because, you know, obviously I'm going to concentrate on building studios because that's my business. Like I need to concentrate on this one thing, right? But it's funny how, like, if I sold the business tomorrow, I could still use you and we could build any business because now I know the systems matter so much, right? The sales system, the client acquisition. So it would be easy to, you know, have you as a coach because I'm still learning. But basically, I could have any business. Like I could have a muffin business, anything, just following these simple steps of having these perfect systems that says like today we're doing this and today we're doing this, and it's like it's so simple when you think about it.
It is.
Now I see the simplicity in it because when I started as a videographer. And I have a lot of friends that are videographers. So they do video production. And some of them are like, oh, I don't have a lot of work, you know. Are you doing marketing? Do you talk to people or you stay home, right? You have a system for your marketing, for client acquisition? Do you like I started to, you know, at one point I met Martin here and he was like, he needed help with his podcast. And this is all how it came about. But the idea is that my business was low. And then I figured out I can just sell my service. And I'll sell my service to you, this, you know, let's say you're a realtor, and I'm going to work for you one day a week, you know, and it's going to cost you this much. But like this day I'm working for you and I do that for multiple companies. And there's always a way to make more money. It's just about the system and how you sell your products, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The way I see it is, you know, 2025, I also did some soul searching on really the type of client that I want to work with, right? Because I get to choose. I'm lucky like that. But, you know, people come to me generally to sell their business, to scale their business, or to build a well-oiled machine that they can sit back and it prints money for them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've done those three myself. And I've helped other people do it. But to me, what I've noticed this year, and just this is recent, is that I'm more for the company that wants to scale big. You know, I laid on the beach for many years after I sold my company and I did nothing. You know, I just hung out. And it gets boring after a while.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
You know, so few business coaches can say that, you know, that they've been at that point where, okay.
And that's what you want. You want a business coach that actually did the business, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
there's so many theory people out there in the business coaching world. And it's
and some are good, like they're good at coaching and they're not good at doing, you know what I mean? Some are good at coaching, not good at doing. But
I've never
but it's not.
I've never resonated with anyone that hasn't done what I
want somebody that did it, right? Like
absolutely, you know, to some degree.
Yeah.
They have to have had skin in the game. If they came, you know, I used to own an incubator, and I would get people into my startup incubator that are, university students that just came out of business. They don't know anything. Like they do in theory, and it sounds really good. But anyone that's been an entrepreneur knows that ideas are a commodity, you know, until they're proven, until you put them out.
Yeah.
Right. How many times when we're working together, I say, we got to put it out there. We got to try. We got to see what we receive back, because we don't know unless we throw ourselves out there.
Yeah.
And the reality is a lot of these people have been conditioned. They've been through a university program. They've been told what to do, follow the rules, follow the systems, that actually trains them out of the number one virtue that you need to be a successful entrepreneur, which is courage. The courage to break the mold and say, fuck this. No, we are going to do something that no one has done before. We're going to do the impossible, right?
Yeah.
That's what creates these huge leaps of innovation.
You know? It's funny because we sometimes even like going out of school or going to school, you know, they tell you, okay, you can get a job, you know, and the idea when I grew up, the idea was like, okay, I'll get a job at at the time, 80,000 a year was great, you know, it was a great salary, or like 100K was like big, you know. Today it's like it's almost low, you know. When you look at at everything, and it's funny how we're conditioned to say like, you know, you want to make 100K a year or 80K a year. That's what you want. You shouldn't just want that, right? Because that's like that's just regular. That's a regular job, right? So yeah, we have to dream way further than 100K a year.
Oh yeah, and on that note too, like just to pull out of the entrepreneur what they truly desire, that's a challenge in itself. Because a lot of times you say, well, I don't know what I really want, you know? We're doing everything for our wives, or you know, we're doing things for other people, we're for our parents still, even as grown men, you know. And it's just like, but what do you want? Like, what is you know, I live on an island, you know, on my estate with fruit trees. I have no bills to pay. I have nothing. I don't need any clients. I have everything I want. I'm in another country on this island. I had to break the mold. I went there because I know that when I'm in a state of peace, and I don't need anything from anyone, I'm a powerful man that can say whatever I want to my client. What I believe is true for them selflessly, to say, hey, you know what? He may fire me over this, but I got to call him on this bullshit.
Yeah, that's important.
And a lot of people, a lot of business coaches are not in that position to do that because they got rent to pay. They don't want to get fired. They don't want to get fired. So they start to please the person on the other side. I don't have a mortgage to pay. Everything is paid. I don't even have food to pay for. So you know, God, the universe, whatever you want to say, brought me to this place where I can speak straight truth to somebody with no fear of losing them, in full benefit of what I think they need to hear to be the best version of themselves.
And you talk about like what we want. What does the entrepreneur want, you know, at the end, right? And it's so interesting because it's like, what do we want, right? Like, let's say I had, I don't know, 10 million tomorrow. What do I do, right? Like you went to a beach, you hanged out, but it's like, what is success, right? It's very like, what is success? Is it family? Is it this? Is it that? Is it money? Because at the end, after you get everything, you might not be fully happy, right? Like it's so hard to, I mean, life is interesting when we look at it, right? And like even the people that have everything in the world, are they happy? Are they overworked? Do they keep going? Do they stop? It's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, for a long time, I believed in the illusion of this freedom to be the ultimate virtue, right? Like if I am just free of my business and I don't have to work, and freedom was more seen as a license at that time. Do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm telling you, this gets boring.
Yeah, that's what I talked to Julien on another podcast, which Julien Leblanc, amazing like storyteller.
Love this guy so
great,
much.
so great. But he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, you're gonna get there, but then you're gonna take a little break, and then you're gonna find something else. You're gonna start a new business, and you're gonna keep going because this is you now. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Oh man, so much on this topic. I mean, there's first of all the intrinsic motivators, right? I've had the Mercedes, I've had the $1 million house, all that stuff. It's all meaningless.
Yeah, like who needs
luxury?
5 toilets?
It's a big scam. If you're still thinking that this is going to provide happiness for you, like, yeah, studies have shown, okay, you get a little blip of happiness, but then it goes down, and then you want something more. It's like being at the casino, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah,
like that's not where you're going to find. That's just a dopamine rush, right?
Yeah,
where are you going to find
weird.
true happiness in terms of like joy, right? Joy and excitement are two different things, but there needs to be that fulfillment, and the materials don't do that. They're short term. Not to say that they're, hey, if that's your thing, you love it, go for it, right? Like I don't demonize the material.
No, but it's
I have one of my great clients has a car collection, has Lamborghinis and Bugattis and all these types of cars. That's his thing. It's his passion.
Yeah.
But there comes a point, I think, just with age, that we start to see, the veil gets lifted on this stuff. And then you go, okay, well, what's more important? Relationships are important. My family's very important, right? It's at the core of it. But it's like, there's also something more. There's these intrinsic values, which has been studied. Copeland, I think, is the psychologist, but it goes passion to purpose, purpose to sovereignty or freedom, and then to mastery. So, if I look at my background, that's what I've been following my whole life is I'm passionate about this thing. That thing that I'm passionate about turns into a purposeful thing, right? It started out when I was 17. I love fitness. I'm training, I compete, I win the Canadian champion, I play 7th in the world. I love this thing, and then that attracts a lot of people around me that say, hey, I want to get in shape. Like, you're inspiring to be around. And then that turns into my purpose of helping other people get in shape and feel good. And then I want freedom out of that. I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to be boxed in, right? I want personal sovereignty. So I break free and I open my own chain of fitness clubs, right? Freeform fitness. I start to build that. And then there comes a point where I need to master this. I need to be a master at this, right? So I want to master the whole game. So today, mastery is my biggest motivator. It's an intrinsic motivator. Can I master myself in my life, in my relationship, in my health, in all the ways, right? Self-mastery, but also master my business. Master the way I coach like no one else does it, right? The way I think it's best done for the people I serve. That's it, right? Like, I want to eliminate everything that other people are doing just to say, what's the essential? And how does that provide my life where I can live on an island and still help these men that are making tens of millions of dollars, right? And I have even my Wi-Fi connection isn't very good, but I'm able to give the essence of something that they value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. So I have a question for you. And I'm going to make this parallel, this really weird parallel. But let's say, and I'm going to switch it, but let's say this guy's getting out of prison.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, he has nothing, right? He needs to flip his life and start a business, right? Like, go as an entrepreneur. Now, there's a parallel. Let's say there's a lot of cuts of the government coming, which there is, right? I don't see this in prison, but they have the golden handcuffs, right? I see the cuts as it's kind of a good thing, because here you go. You have all this knowledge now, go be an entrepreneur, how do you help those people? Like, do you have an idea? Like, what would you tell those people? Because I see it, you know, you lose your job maybe tomorrow, right? You work in the government, you got the golden handcuff, you were super comfy. It's like, it's not like being in prison, but it's like you're being pushed out somewhere that you don't want to be. What do you do next? You know?
Yeah. To me,
I see it as an opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. To me, yeah, that's the best thing that could happen to you, because to me, that's slavery, right? To be in those cuffs. It's no different to me. So it's like finally stepping into your soul's expression. Like, this is a very spiritual thing to be an entrepreneur to me, because you're actually following that passion that wants to help solve a problem somewhere that you have skill in, right? Like, so I would take like that actually happened to me when I wrote the book School is Broken many years ago, over a decade ago. I wrote School is Broken, and the principal from my school ended up calling me, and I owned studios at that point. You know, I owned these personal training studios. And he said, "Hey, I'd love to meet up with you and talk about your book." I was like, "You're not going to really like what I have to say about school, you know?" Because I had deconstructed how it was killing creativity, you know, and killing that.
It is. They don't teach you entrepreneur in school, like in high school. You know, they don't say like,
teach you anything that's useful.
Go work for yourself. No. Go find go to this. This network of schools and go to your whatever, right?
Yeah, they don't teach you how to make money. You know, they don't.
No,
they don't teach you.
Not often.
How to. You know, it's all basic stuff. You know.
Yeah.
They don't teach you relationships. They don't teach you so much of the key things of how to network.
Yeah.
You know, how much of. You know, we came together, you and I, through a networking thing, like through somebody else, right?
Through Martin.
Yeah, it's like,
connected us.
Oh, you'll like Jean-Luc, you know, and you'll like Jaron. It's like we end up connecting.
Yeah.
You know, do they teach us these social skills of how to network properly, how to be a great human being? Like, it's all like textbook. Anyways, I could go on that's. Anyways, I wrote that book. He calls me. I said, "Sure, let's meet up." So he comes, but he surprises me and he brings a student with him. And we're sitting in my office in the Glebe, and he goes, "Okay, I read your book and everything."
Was it like a broken student, like a student that was not doing well, or?
I couldn't even say. We didn't get into it.
Okay.
But I did feel a similarity with the kid.
Yeah.
You know, there was something. He had like baggy pants. I was a skateboarder when I was a teenager, right? So a bit of a rebel or a break the mold sort of guy. So I could see that in him, his ball cap and his cool, you know, demeanor. And he goes, "I read your book. It's all about the problem. You know, what's the solution?"
Oh, it's book number 2.
yeah, it's coming. Serious.
Buy it.
So I hadn't really thought about that actually.
The solution,
you know, because I was just so pushed into, man, I can deconstruct how this is bad in so many ways to human spirit.
Solution. It's always hard, right? Finding the solution.
So he said, "What's the solution?" I just like instinctively came up with this, where I just said to the kid, I said, "What are you into? Like, what do you do when you're bored?" And he goes, "I'm a gamer, you know, I love games." And like, I don't care about games, but this kid cares about games. And I said, like, "How much do you like games?" You know? Oh, and he just started lighting up. His posture starts to change, you know, and things start to move around. I'm looking at not just the words coming out of his mouth, but his the way his passion's starting to come up. I said, "Do you have any friends that are into games like you?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, we play online all the time. You know, we love it." I said, "Okay, well, what if I gave you a project to say, build a game? You and a bunch of friends that are passionate about building a game, you build a game and you're actually going to put it out on the market and you're going to sell it for some money. And you're going to get money from that game."
That's exciting.
He said, "I would love that. That would be so good, you know?" And he lit up. And I thought to myself, like, me being a skateboarder, if you would have said, hey, let's gather all the skaters and you guys are going to build a skate park. We would work day and night to build the biggest skate park in the country.
For sure.
And we would do it out of pure fun and like pleasure.
Yeah.
So compare that to sitting on your butt, reading doing these tests that are evaluating you on your intelligence so you can be a good employee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship, I don't work with anyone that's not an entrepreneur. Like I can't even relate to somebody that's an employee.
Yeah, because you feel like it's interesting because as an entrepreneur, I want employees, right? Like I need employees in the future. And sometimes I'm like thinking, why would you be an employee? Right? Like now my brain has switched, right? So like, obviously I don't feel bad because some people are just made to be more employees than entrepreneur, I guess. But it's like, I kind of ask myself, like, why would you want to work for me? You know? I don't know if some other of your clients like think like that or have thought like that, but it's that question, like, how do you, I want my employees to be the best that they can be. And I kind of want to tell them like, be an entrepreneur, it's kind of funny, but.
Absolutely. And it's actually a problem that I run into sometimes, because like sometimes we impose as employers, as entrepreneurs, what we think is right for them, but we're not like them. An entrepreneur is not like an employee whatsoever. And there's some people, once you make, like, for example, I had one client that owns a kombucha business out in Nicaragua. And he wasn't wanting to put structure in place too much, because he felt that it was limiting the freedom of the employee. In the same way, he's like, well, I don't want to limit them and put some structure in place when they can I think it's going to be limiting to their freedom, right? And I said, I want you to do an exercise. I want you to go interview 10 of your employees and ask them if they want more structure from you or less structure from you.
They probably want more.
The next time we had our coaching call, he said, wow, every single one of them wanted more structure. Because really what they wanted is something very transparent about whether they were doing a good job or not.
Yeah. It is very interesting because my friend works for someone in the government. And I know that person personally because I worked for him in the past. And this guy is very entrepreneur-like, but he's very high up in the government fixing a system. We'll just say a system. Don't know which one, a system. And basically, this employee is very like, no, I want structure. But the CEO or the manager, whoever, he is not structured at all. He's like, let's do it. We're going to do it. We're going to just do it. And that's it, right? There's no structure. He's like, let's move. He's really good to push people, But again, he's like the entrepreneur mindset. Let's just do it. And then the employees want structure. They want, no, we shouldn't just do it. We can't just do it. We need a plan. We need this really good plan and like really structured, right? So it was interesting to see that. And I know both personality and I could say that, yeah.
There's three personalities. There's the employee, there's the manager, and the entrepreneur. And all three are very different personality types, right? But even being the entrepreneur, of course, the manager needs to be very structured, right? Because you're creating containers for these people, you're creating maps for them. And the employees, the more they know that they're doing a good job and they have incentives in place, and they have repercussions also. They know what's going on. They just don't like the surprises of the unknown, right? And if you can create a structure that helps all these specific type of employees, then you create culture from that. The structure actually creates the culture, not just the words on the wall. Structure determines the outcome. That's why I'm big on systems. Like
Yeah.
a business is systems. If you're loose on your systems, you're gonna have a loose business.
Yeah.
You know.
Another cool thing we talked about actually was like, you know, how to hire employees and who you choose, and you know, personality is huge. It's so important to kind of know. Like I was talking to Emilie in Montreal, one of my hosts for On Pod, and you know, she specialized in knowing how people kind of act and react, and how to do the right also interview question, because often in interviews we just give the answer. Like, can you edit on Adobe Premiere? I just gave you the answer. Like, I want you, you know, I'm asking you, like, can you edit on Adobe Premiere versus, you know, what do you edit on? You know, I don't want to give you the answer.
Right.
But also, like, she kind of explained to me, and we talked about this too, like, there's one guy that he's very closed in versus another guy that's very like open. Like there's all these personality, and they need to match to your personality, or at least you need to know how to not handle them, but like how to train them the right way and teach them. Like I'm very, can you send an email to the client? We need this. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you did a good job today, and you know. But I some people need that, right? They need to know that they're good at their job, right? So I think it's kind of an interesting thing, right? Like you have to hire the right people that matches your personality, I think.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a straightforward guy, right? So if I'm hiring somebody that needs always like reassurance that they're doing good, for me it's hard.
Training.
But if I know the person needs that, then I can adjust myself, right, to make sure that they, you know, are good.
Well, one of the best exercises around that subject that I've learned is that you have the best predictor of a good employee is looking at the past employees. Like this only applies to somebody that has a lot of business experience, right? We go and
like he had employees before.
He had employees,
yeah.
So we could. I just always ask the question, who were your best employees? And then he's like, let's say, okay, this guy, John. Okay, what made John so good? Let's break it down. And then they'll go, well, John's the type of guy that doesn't look at the clock. He just gets things done. At any time of day. So I go, so what is that? Let's break that down into a characteristic of what that is. It's like, oh, he's he's all in. He's very committed to the thing. Okay. And what else did you like about him? You know, man, he's always positive, that guy. You know, John was always positive. Okay, we write down positive. We write down committed. You know,
we check every,
and we'll write it down. Okay, now we have a template of the type of person that works well with you. Not some business book that's telling you, you know, this is what you should look for in a manager, but it's proven based on you. And then we also, split the piece of paper, we say, okay, now I want you to write down the worst person that has worked for you.
Oh, interesting.
And I want you let's break them down. And he's like, oh yeah, you know,
late or
Sally, you know, she's always checking the clock, right? So they'll say the opposite thing of what John was, you know. She's always checking the clock. She's out at like even 5 minutes before, and it drives me crazy, right? Because I'm paying her and I don't know. And when we show it's like a blind man, you know, like hitting the cane. We got to look at the positive, we got to look at the negative, and then we find our middle way. And then it's just like, bam, these are the values that work well with me. Now you build a team with those types of values. People. Now you have a killer team, you know?
Yeah, potentially you could give them like, you know, when those tests, right? These, not a value test, not really a psychology test, but you know, those tests that kind of evaluates what type of person you are.
Well, yeah, but even better than that, people cheat these things. And what I want to do,
that's true. Yeah,
what I want to do is I want to look at commitment and say, how has that person's actions demonstrated that? Because to me, talk is cheap, you know? So I want to make sure I will even tell the person I'm working with, I say, we'll break down these characteristics, and then I'll say, how do we prove that? How do we test them on that, right? If they're good at that software you said, don't ask them. Give it to them and say, show me.
Yeah.
I want to see you do it.
Yeah.
Right? So I will look for indicators, and we'll come up with a very unique, customized hiring system where that person is actually being tested on all the values that match their values, but in a way that's proof-based. I don't believe what people say.
Yeah, it's very hard because people lie.
Oh yeah, I'm like this, or I. So that and reference checks, proof and reference are so important in the hiring process.
When I was an employee, like after kind of leaving the employee state, I always thought to myself, if I go back to a company, like work for a company, and there's a few out there that was like, wow, I love the culture. I love everything about it. Like, I mean, I visited Spotify the other day because a friend works there, and like there's free food. It's a very nice place to work. Like it's like Google, right? Like there's even like you can go to this corner office, listen to some vinyls while you work, like it's top notch. You want a latte, there's free lattes, big lines, it's free lattes. Free everything basically. Yeah. And then like Epiphan Video, like the culture was great, smaller team, but like they tried to like there's stuff in the fridge, there's frozen pizza, anything, right? And so anyways, my mindset changed in the sense that, okay, if I go for an interview, like I don't want to just do an hour interview and be hired into this team that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people are like, I really want to work at CBC or wherever, but like you don't know the team, you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know anything, right? Like approximately like you'll be the manager of this, cool. But like I don't know what the people are like, right? Yeah. And I feel like there should always be like, I'm always like, can I just like, instead of doing an interview, like, yeah, I'll do an interview, but like, can I go meet the team? Like, can I meet these guys? Like, I don't want to work here but people don't see it like that. They see it like it's an interview and you're always like, everybody wants work, right? So they don't think about themselves. They just think about, well, they do, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wish.
That's because you have a lot of self-worth now,
But I wish the process would be different, Yeah. Like I don't want to work with people because it's all about the people. When you're an employee, it's all about the people, right? It's not about the work. Like it is a little bit, but like
it's true.
It's really about the people that you're going to work with. And if they're not nice, or if one person is super nice, there was this lady when I worked somewhere and this lady would come in, like she would email me, and then not even like 2 minutes after she emailed me, her office was down the hall. She would come in and me and my buddy Steve are working, and then she'd come in and just sit there and wait till we're done. And like, did you guys get my email? Okay, give me a minute. This is like, sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I knew before I had an office so close to her office. Nice person, just like her personality just didn't like know. And sometimes weird argument.
And it's also that's a good point. And there's like I've had a client, a pretty like $5 million business, had a hiring problem, right? But I was trying to investigate what is it exactly, because there's many components that could happen. And when I looked at his ads of what he was putting out there as what he was looking for, and what the true culture was, there was a mismatch completely. So this guy is a hardcore sales guy looking for hardcore salespeople in truth. But his ads are like, hey, come, and we got all these perks, like the coffees, and we got this and this and that. And then you'd get these people that come in that were all soft, and then they get injected into this culture that is like the guy's driving them. He kept losing people. So we shifted his whole hiring process to be real. Looking for superstar salespeople. If you can't handle it, don't apply. The application.
Because that's what you want.
We moved the application from single process hiring of just interview to the first thing is group interview. Online.
Interview. Oh, interesting.
So you go online. He's sitting in a studio.
That's stressful.
And he's pitching what the company's about. And he wants to filter out anyone that's not a true salesperson.
Yeah.
You just don't waste my
basically,
time or
do you
yours.
really want to work for us? Like, because this is it, no lies. This is what we do.
And that established the frame of this is what it's truly like to work here. And then he did one-on-one interviews. And then from those one-on-one interviews, he hired superstars. And it completely radically changed all of the problems he had in terms of losing people, you lose people. It costs a lot of money.
Yeah. Retraining, like this.
All of it, right?
Yeah.
And we just created that alignment and got, so just to say, when you have the same type of people all in the same, with the same alignment, everyone's rowing the boat the same way, man, that's powerful.
Yeah, and it's crazy how those small changes affects in a big way. And sometimes it's great to have you on our side because you showcase those, you tell us, because we don't, like, as an entrepreneur, you don't really see it, right? What's happening at the core level, because you're always doing 12 things at once. Right.
I always say it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yeah.
And that's everyone.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, right? There's a reason coaching is sometimes 600, 900% growth that people get from it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like this little incremental thing. It's just because it's like a pro golfer, right? Has a coach and he's, why the coach isn't even as good as the player. Why would the player need him? Well, it's because he has an outside perspective and can say, actually, your swing's a little off here. You can't see it because you're doing it, but it could be shaped a little different, right?
Yeah. You could get a little bit more power, be a little bit faster. And it's funny that you talk about this, like how a business coach could boost you like 900%. And basically, you sent me this question and like, we've been thinking like, we were here and then you gave me something and now we're here, and so we grew a little bit and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we could do this, and then, okay, we could do $1 million a year, oh, cool, and now you sent me like, what if you wanted to do 10 million in a year? Like, what would you do? And it's like, and that's hard because I'm like, okay, well, I did the calculation and like, okay, we gotta go right now to 30 studios and we gotta boost it forward and then we gotta get the right sales and the right marketing and then, but it's doable, but in maybe 15 months, so it's interesting how like our mind is said like, okay, $1 million, that's so big, like we'll get there, it's possible. And then you ask like 10 million and you're like, oh, okay. Actually, it's doable. Like you think about it, you plan it, and then boom, it's done. So it's very interesting how the mind works and how like we block ourselves from moving.
For sure. I mean, this is hot right now for me because we're entering 2026, and we're a weekend, and this is really fired up for me. That's why I've been messaging you. I'm messaging all my clients like almost every day saying just questions to expand the mind, because to me, doing the impossible is what we're here for, to do something new. Creativity is doing something new, putting something out there. And the way we think is linear. We go, oh, I made 100 grand last year, so now I'm going to make 150, and maybe, that's a 50% growth. So that's a lot, so maybe next year I'll make 2. And this is generally what happens. And I like to say, well, what if it's like 100 times that?
Yeah. And what if you have that system to do 100 times that, right? Because the system is replicable, right?
It aligns all of the right decisions when you dream big. So when I say, okay, 300 on pod studios, when you say that, the way to get there is going to be very different than if you say you're going to open 2 studios more next year, right? 2 studios more next year puts you in the technical role.
Yeah.
You may go, okay, well, I'm going to call this guy and I'm going to make
Go
sure
down, build a table.
we're going to be thinking about tables.
You know, yeah.
Right? We're going to be thinking about
Exactly.
tables. But when you say 300, the priorities shift where all of a sudden you say, I'm not going to touch tables anymore.
No, I can't.
That I can't. So it aligns all of your decisions in your habits, in your day-to-day time to say, is this helping me get to 300 or is this a detriment to getting me to 300? So the question I had sent you was, what are the 3 things you need to do to get to that? And what are the 3 things you need to eliminate? Because oftentimes it's the things we need to eliminate too, right? We're doing things because and we'll come up with every clever idea on why we're going to stick to doing those little things that are actually blocking our way to do something bigger.
Yeah, because you think like building sets, right? I'm saving money, but I'm losing time, and I'm losing time on important things like finishing the system and, working on maybe sales right now, right?
Totally.
So,
right. And one of the things is like, I don't want to be marketing and selling. I want to be creating the infrastructure that's going to provide a constant, predictable flow of leads and sales.
Yeah, the SOPs.
So it brings it back to what we were talking about at the beginning, that we are architects. As business owners, you're not just some business owner. You're a creator. You're creating out of nothing something that's going to impact the world and help people in so many ways. We have to get out of this small mentality of, okay, I got to fix the tables, It's like, no, how am I going to create these studios so it's all replicatable in different areas around the world in every single city? How would I possibly do that? I would need to think who, not how. I would need to think about getting the right person on board. And to get the right person on board, they're going to cost a lot. So what's another thing? I need to raise money. I need money. I need investment money because there's a speed component to what we're doing. So, wow, in those top 3 priorities, I need to raise money, Then I got to find the right people and build a team, And so the bigger you extend, the more clarity you're going to get.
Yeah.
Of the right moves forward, right? So it does a lot. It eliminates the 80% of the crap you've been doing that doesn't really move the needle towards the vision. And it focuses on 20%.
Yeah, because at first I thought this is impossible, right? But it is possible. 10 million a year. It's possible. You just have to align everything the right way and just go faster.
Yeah. And this is a common thing with almost everyone I work with, is that when they first come to me, they say, I have this goal. And this just happened a few weeks ago. He says, hey, I want to reach 3 million. Right. So generally I'm working with companies over $1 million. And they come to me at 1.5, 3, and this guy says, okay, I'm at 2. I want to get to 3. And it's like, why? Why do you want to get to 3? Why'd you choose 3? And it's this linear thinking that if I did 2, 3 is a massive goal.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, it's not very massive, and it's actually not that exciting.
No.
Right?
It's small.
It's a small little but like
if you're at 2, it's easy to get at 3.
Like me, even as a coach, I'm not that excited about it. So I have to be excited also, right? If we're going to be allies in this, like, let's shoot for the moon, and if we don't get it, we land in the stars, But like, let's not just make it a little jump. Like, let's do the impossible. And like I said, it aligns all of the 80-20 rule of like all the 80% of what you've been doing needs to go pretty much. And that's a lot of internal resistance. It's not, what I'm talking about with coaching is very rarely is it external challenges. It's almost always internal challenges to, wow, Do I have the courage to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the commitment to do that? Do I have the confidence to do that? Do I have the capabilities to do that? I don't know. So I come along and say, let's look at your past. Look what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
What's unique about you, right? Like when I talk about capabilities, I also look at where is your skill? And then you got to go and do that. You got to do the thing that you love doing and that you're better than everyone at doing. Because like Jer here, like technically no podcast, I believe, no podcast studio can compete with him on a technical automation professional standpoint.
No, I don't think it exists anywhere. Some people tried, but more audio podcasts,
But look at your
but
background,
it's
right?
not-
Like,
yeah.
have you talked about your background?
A little bit. I worked at CBC for a long time. I worked at the Science and Tech Museum. And I've basically touched everything. I've did some maintenance. I've did switcher director. I've did lighting with the lighting director, sound, like you name it.
Video quality. You talked to me about video.
Yeah. So CCUs, camera control unit. I was really passionate about that. To put the video chart on and then to match the cameras, to match the colors. Obviously, in here we use the same cameras, we put them on the same preset. It's very easy to kind of match, but at the deeper end, matching cameras in a broadcast kind of state was very different, and I love doing that. Matching the reds with the reds and like finding tricks to reduce, if something doesn't match, I would reduce the saturation a bit. I would play with there's all these tricks and all these things, and it's kind of a passion. And now the passion is like, how do I automate, right? Everything needs to be automated and with a good quality, but like nothing can fail. Like I love thinking about like, I never want anything to fail. And I'm adding a setting today on this recorder where between the green button and the red button, there's going to be a yellow flashing button that says wait, because some people will press it twice, they'll double tap it because they don't wait, a second. And they're like, which is fine. But we're adding, I want to make sure that, okay, no, as soon as they press, this starts flashing like crazy. It's like, wait. Okay, perfect. They wait, it goes, So I'm always thinking about figuring out a way to alleviate like problems, like make sure there's no problems.
Exactly.
And
if you guys are listening right now, right, you could see that Jer's energy shifted, in just talking about it, right? And that's what I am always looking for is like, whoa, there's a lot of passion around this thing, and it's not me, right? Like I don't know anything about the cameras and how these technical things. So it's very easy for me to spot and go, wow, this is a unique thing that you got. And I look at your background, and then how does the purpose that Jer has, how does it play into the big picture of the business he's building? And how does that become the branding differentiator that no one will beat him on? Because he can do this in his sleep. He does this for fun. If he's doing something, he'll be building something. If you're bored about something, you'll be improving the technical aspect of this amazing space. And no one is going to be able to compete with him at that. It's like trying to compete with somebody that it's their passion, it's what they're good at. They do it in their sleep. If you're competing with somebody like that and for you it's work, there's no way you can compete.
Yeah.
So aligning the small purpose with the large purpose is just a sure win moving forward.
Yeah, and I believe it's a sure win. Like just working with you, like it's like you said, like we have a list of 100, Dream 100. We have plenty of steps that there is no chance that this doesn't work.
Exactly.
There's zero chance that this doesn't work. It's just a matter of time and doing some of the work, but it's like, it's simple, it's easy, we gotta get investment. We're gonna build 30 studios in the next 2 years, and then sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And there's no chance it doesn't work.
And like you talked about when you were talking about the self-worth of the employee coming in and saying, well, I don't know if I want to work here, right? I want to see the team.
Yeah.
And it's that self-worth too in the business of realizing the spot you're in.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of business owners don't have the self-worth to see the gem of a situation they're in. Podcasting, huge wave, huge rise.
Yeah.
So opportunity, perfectly aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Aligned with your purpose personally.
Mm-hmm.
Aligned with the market and what it needs. You know how complicated it is to start your own podcast? You have to first come up with the ideas of what is it going to be? How am I going to get guests? You got to strategize all this stuff. What's the name going to be? Is the name available? Okay, you start this thing. What platform am I going to use? Am I going to do it this way, that way? Oh, now I got to know how to edit. Now I got to know how to edit these videos. I got to do clips. Oh, in different formats and there's different formats, sizes and shapes of different videos. Oh my God. Here I am hours into this, right? Mm-hmm. And then, I did it now. Now I got to distribute this. How do I distribute it? What platform?
Yeah. And
it is a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And now you've said, here, I'm going to make it real easy for you.
Just
come in, hit the button, leave, and you got your stuff.
Yeah.
That's solving a real problem.
A guy in Ottawa that, he started his podcast in his basement, and it's like he bought all the gear, and it's like, even if you buy all the gear and you have the set and you have everything, it's still not very simple. You got to go to each camera, you got to pull out the gear. Okay, put that in the computer, transfer it, do the
and it's still not professional like this, right?
No.
So it's not this lighting, this everything, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you're solving a real problem that saves somebody so much time, money, and effort, right? In how to do it. So you got the industry, you got the purpose, internals, the small purpose, the business purpose. It matters, this thing. Okay, let's get the Dream 100 investors that want to invest in this and that realize that this is a gem that is bound to be a massive success and be sold to some large company in the future. And you got all the skills and the right ability to do this. So there's the plan.
Yeah. And we're pitching, I'm pitching in the three different people in the next month and a half. And there's even it's funny because, we've put Toronto as a coming soon on the website, which was a plan, was not a plan. Now it's back on the table. There was a shift, it just depends on money and time. Right. And now I get emails monthly or even close to weekly, oh, when is Toronto opening? And it's and there is studios in Toronto, but they're waiting for this. This is just easier. And sometimes at first I thought, oh, no technician, because I used to be the technician and be like, okay, say this again. Okay, guys, okay, start again. I used to be there for them. It's actually a good thing there's nobody here because it creates a safe space where you can have a conversation. Nobody's around with that person, right? With your guest. It's more personal, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, there's no cable. There's no moving the cameras. There's not all this stuff. We lose 30 minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna refocus, and we do that. Oh, we don't need that. It's just you come in, you press the button, you have your conversation, you leave, you're done. So people are waiting for that in other cities. We just got to get the word out, and Toronto has been out a little bit, and people know and ask for it. I was asked for it this morning. This is crazy.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where it goes, man.
Me too. I'm
remember this podcast.
A little stressed, a little excited. I don't know, but it's gonna go. In 2 months, we'll have an investor. Pretty sure, and then we're going. And then 15 months, we might be, from 15 to 30 studios. And then again, sky's the limit. Like the potential is there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. When I think when you have clarity,
Yeah.
with clarity comes motivation, inspiration.
Yeah, we were thinking like one studio in Toronto next, maybe no studio, maybe doing this. And now it's like it's so clear and it's already big, right? We, and we were lucky enough to like I met Tree through you, which coded our new storage system. So instead of having Google Drive, we have our own Google Drive that we built, and now we can do whatever we want with it, which is amazing. And again, like it's all about connecting with the right person, right? I met Martin. He gave me kind of the idea with the podcast garage, podcast cafe. Like he needed help with his podcast, so like he kind of helped me. And then I met you through Martin, and I met Tree through you, and then everything is like just building blocks. So the idea is meet the right person and also go meet people.
And
on a podcast.
It's literally the essence of what this is built for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because one person does have the potential to change your life. But if all of a sudden all you're talking about is exchanging a business card, you're not going to actually get
Doesn't do anything
to the depth.
No.
With that person that you could in a great space like this. And then we meet and we actually get to know each other, and the opportunities that come out of, I was living at some point with no money, right? I went high and then I went all the way low, lost it all, like almost purposely, right? To see what it was like to have no money. But in that, and my rise back up was that your network, the people
mm-hmm.
and that have made connections along the way are still there,
mm-hmm.
right? The other thing I realized was skills. We have skills that are super valuable, that are unique to you, right? And then virtues, are you courageous? Are you strong? Do you have integrity? Do you have wisdom? Like these are things that are in us or not in us. If you don't have integrity, I don't think you'll have a good network. That's for sure.
My father-in-law, while we were climbing up I think it's 800 steps in Petra in Jordan. So have you been to Petra?
No.
So, but Petra, right? It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. But anyways, you go up and it's these old tombs, which look like little kind of castle in the sand. And he said, "You are a eternal optimist," because I'm always like, it's right there. I think like you see the corner there. It's right the next one. And it's like another 100 steps, another 100 steps, and then I realized, I'm an eternal optimist. I used to do dance competition, and we won this dance competition. Me, and my dance partner Joel in New York City. We went first place, and we were so surprised, But we did this big aerial step, like in the air. That was crazy, and then I was like, let's go to Europe, and we're gonna win in Europe. And she got like a little mad because she was like, we're not that good, And I was like, I don't give a shit. I know we're not that good, but I'm just so optimist, I don't care. I don't care if we don't win. I just want let's just do it. We'll see after. We don't choose,
For sure.
So it's interesting, the mindset. But eternal optimist.
But it reminds me of the Stoics saying, Marcus Aurelius said, virtue is its own reward. Virtue is its own reward. To be optimistic is a reward in itself because it feels good to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and in the same way, like courage and having self-discipline, they're rewards in itself. It doesn't even matter what the outcome is. It's the fact that we're actually doing it.
Yeah, because when we look at like me going to an investor and pitching, next month and this month, I never thought I would be doing that in my life. You know what I mean? I never thought I would like, and I remember
it's so exciting, man, that you're doing this too. Like hearing you say that just lit up my face.
Yeah, like the first one, I might fail. I don't care. I'm just gonna go to the next one, and it's gonna get better. And the idea is good and it makes sense. We just gotta do it now.
Yeah, and how do we get good at pitching?
Yeah.
Right.
I just read Pitch Anything. It was an interesting book. Yeah.
And just, anything is possible. That's the thing.
Yeah. And
if you just put in the work, we just went through it. We just
we just gotta be ready for anything and be super prepared, and it's like you have to think that you're talking to a person and the person has feelings and they think different, and we have to just align, and right. So it's just interesting, the whole mentality behind negotiating, behind pitching, all this stuff. Like it's very interesting. Psychology is interesting, right? People are interesting. So it's gonna be an interesting time.
Yeah, I do find one of the key elements, is high self-worth. And I find like when I hired my coach, like a few years ago, I was at a point of low self-worth. And I also needed somebody else, for me to, because I felt something. I felt like, hey, I'm not thinking big enough. I'm not, all these things that I now, help other clients with. I was in that too. So I felt it. I felt there's something, there's a worth, because in all of these things, pitching, negotiating, selling, all these things, you have to realize your value.
Yeah. And it's not always easy. Like I just still feel like this really young entrepreneur. But in reality, it's much more than that. Right. And so, like you said, like I need to get in this room and feel like I'm worth something, not feel like I'm worth nothing.
Yeah, or right?
Yeah. Know that exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so to finish up, anything that you want to say to entrepreneurs, or any books you want to recommend to people?
Things I want to say. Well, it's the beginning of 2026. I think
it's time to hit the gym, right? Gym owners are happy right now. They're like, yes, this is the time. Everybody's going to come in and get their yearly subscription.
It's true, though.
It is true. It's very true. I'm going back to the gym.
The gym is such an important aspect of. I don't think there's not anything that can create more of an impact on you mentally, physically, spiritually, than actually starting to work out if you're not. But that's not the message I would say. The message I would say is sort of a theme that I'm passionate about right now, is think big. Yeah. Think massive. Write it down. Don't be scared of, how big that is and how grand it is. And it should be uncomfortable and almost seem impossible.
Yeah.
Because when you write it down, there's some magic that happens with writing it down and seeing it, that things just start to move in that direction.
Yeah. When you said 10 million to me, I said, impossible and uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the feeling I got. But then I said, let's do the exercise, let's write it down. And then I did. And it is doable. Just need more money and just do it faster. And just, it's possible. Yeah. But you just gotta, don't think small, I guess.
Yeah, don't think small. And then in terms of books, I mean, what am I read a lot of different types of books now.
There's so many
that are like more philosophical in a way, but I think my book, The Bought Built Business, is pretty practical, right? How to move from the old way of doing operations to thinking of with AI.
Yeah. Build Business.
It's called The Bought Built Business. It's free on my website, but it talks about how we're moving away from checklists and and SOPs, and all these things are irrelevant now, because I can get a prompt on my phone what to do next. I can take a picture and AI could analyze something and tell you exactly what's wrong.
You can literally tell ChatGPT to send you emails with reminders with all the steps. Like sky's the limit. I could get a text every day. So like, ding, do this. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the game has changed completely. And I think the follow-up to that book will be more the mental aspects of what's stopping us from becoming a dinosaur in the business world. Because as much as the technologies are there, it's overwhelming for a lot of people to go, oh, where do I start? There's too many. It's moving too fast. So what do we do? It's fight, flight, freeze. Most people just freeze.
Yeah.
And they go, too many options. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And that right there is what's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you actually have to shift.
Yeah, you need to learn and move forward with the technology. Because if you don't, you'll be losing.
You'll be left behind.
You'll be left behind. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So
good. I think this is good for today.
Awesome, Jared.
Thanks for coming to Ottawa. I mean, I'm in Ottawa too. We're both in Ottawa, which never happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can redo this in 6 months to a year and see where I'm at.
It's gonna be grand.